Hey everyone, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For this week, I'm going to be showing you guys how I made these round macrame coasters. They're a little bit different than, they're a lot different than the other coasters I made. So my last coaster video, when you make the coasters, you're going to be making 2 at a time, so you measure the rope super long. But for this video, you're just going to be measuring rope for 1 coaster at a time. So I'm just going to be showing you how I make one of these, and yeah, let's get started. So for these coasters, you're going to need just a little bit of 3mm. Mostly 5mm is what I'm going to be using of cotton cord and a sharp pair of scissors. You can find this rope in my Etsy shop or on my Instagram by tapping the link in my bio. I have both of these available in bulk, and yeah, this is what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting the cord now. This is really all you're going to need of the 3mm cord, just a piece 6-7 inches long, and you're going to need 2 of them. So now I'm going to start cutting my 5mm cord. I'm going to measure it first. I'm going to measure 5 pieces, all about 15 inches long. The next pieces of rope I'm going to cut, it's going to be 5 pieces, all measured about 1 foot long. The next pieces of rope I'm going to cut are going to be measured around 9 inches. And then you're going to cut just the ends. And make sure you cut 5 pieces of each size. Okay, lastly, you're going to cut 1 long piece of rope measured 5 foot or 2.5 foot folded. Okay, so this is all my rope cut for 1 coaster. I cut 5 pieces all around 14 to 15 inches long, cut at 15 to be safe. I cut 5 pieces of 1 foot and 5 pieces of 9 inches. This one right here is about 2.5 foot folded, so 5 foot long. And these ones are like 6 inches. To get started with this coaster, I'm going to grab the 5 longest pieces of rope that I cut. I'm going to apply them all to this small 3mm piece of rope. I'm going to be using the lark's head knot. I'll make sure the ends right here match up. And then pull it tight, and you do that to all 5 pieces. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is get these 2 pieces of rope and tie them together in a square knot. Pull it really tight. The reason I use this small rope is because I don't want the hole to be so big in the middle. This is going to be the middle of the coaster right there. So that's why I use a 3mm rope to do this. You could use 5mm too, but it's just going to make the hole bigger. And then turn it over, and this is where you're going to start knotting. That's where I did the lark's head knots, and I'm going to turn it over to this side now. And once you do the square knot, you can actually just cut these 2 pieces of rope off. Okay, for this next step, we're going to be adding the long piece of rope in. This is what you're going to be tying all the rope to. So you're going to get just whatever part you want and put it through the bottom under here. I use some scissors just to push it through. So I just pull it through like that, and then I'm going to hold that there, pull it down a little bit, and you're going to start using this long 5 piece of rope to be going around. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to hold this down right there. So I'm going to get this piece, and I'm going to tie a clove hitch knot. I'm going to do 2 of those with these 2 pieces of rope. So after I tie 2 of those knots with these 2 ropes, I'm going to get this rope, hold it just right there, and then I'm going to grab these ropes. These are the 2nd longest ropes we cut. You're going to get one of those and do like an inside out lark's head knot tied to it like this. You just put 1 rope there. Don't tie anything, just pull it tight. and then move on to these next two ropes and start doing a clove hitch knot on these ones. After you tie 2 of those knots, you're going to grab another one of the long pieces of rope and tie it again to this string. Pull it tight, and then go around again to these next 2 ropes. If these ropes keep getting in your way, now that you've already started using this rope, it can't be pulled through now from here, you can actually just cut these off. And then keep going from there. After you tied 2 more of those knots, grab another one of these long ropes. These are the ropes that are measured around a foot long. After you finish tying the last 2 pieces of rope, you have 1 piece of rope left of the 1-foot cord, folded in half, of course. And you do the last lark's head knot, and then you just start tying clove hitch knots just all around this whole thing until you get back to this last piece of rope. And I'm going to start doing that now. Okay, after you finish doing that whole row of knots, you're going to stop right where these 2 line up and get your other 5 pieces of rope. These are the smallest ones, the 9-inch pieces. And then start adding, just add 1 right here. And then you're going to tie these 4 pieces of rope into clove hitch knots, and then you're going to add another one. And I'll show you that here. So after I add that one, I'm going to tie all these 4 pieces of rope. Here's the rope I put in, and then here are the 4 strings that I tied. After you tie 4, you're going to add another one in right here on this piece of rope. Make sure the 2 bottom pieces match. And pull it tight, and then you're going to tie 4 more pieces of string into clove hitch knots. So I tied the 4 pieces into clove hitch knots. Now I'm going to add another one right here. Now I'm tying 4 more. Now I'm going to add another string in right here. And then tie 4 more. Now I'm going to add my last piece of string in. Right there. Okay, for the next step, you're just going to be going around tying every bit of these strings to this using the clove hitch knot one last time. Okay, you're almost finished with your coaster. A couple more knots. I just wanted to show you that you want to line up this knot right here where it starts with where it ends. So I'm going to tie like 3 or 4 more knots so you get it lined up with this piece. So I do have a lot of rope left over. I could even probably go around one more time to make the coaster a little bit bigger, but I actually like this size right here. I feel like it's a perfect size of coaster because there's also going to be fringe about that much around. But I did extra rope because I don't know how your tension is, how tight you tie your clove hitch knots, and I wouldn't want you to run short. So this is how much rope I have left, and I'm going to start cutting this off now for the fringe. Now I'm going to comb all this out. I'm going to start trimming this now. You can actually leave your fringe however long you want, but I like to leave it about that long. So I finished one coaster and it's actually big enough to hold a quart jar. So I feel like that 5 rows was perfect. And then just repeat all those steps to make your second coaster. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope it wasn't too complicated because it was kind of hard to film while I had the coaster on the table. I actually usually sit down and I have it like on my knee and I just end up tying the knots from there, and it's a little bit easier, so maybe you could even try it that way. Anyways, thank you so much again for watching, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up and hopefully you guys can see me next week.